Hello, y'all. I'm back. It's 4:19 p.m. and hold on right quick. So, hold up. So, I've discovered that if I'm in a dark room and I flip the camera towards me, then and if I have the phone brightness at the lowest, then I could the video wouldn't take up as much storage space and it would take shorter to upload. So what time did I say? It's now 4:20 p.m. So I'm feeling sleep deprived and I'm so tired that all of my head hurts front and back. And people advise not to take late naps. So I'm forcing myself to stay awake. Oh, excuse me. You know, forcing myself to stay awake because I don't want to mess up my sleep schedule. So I might try to go to bed early tonight, like about 9 o'clock. So I mean, the past few nights I've been falling asleep after 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, even 3 o'clock, and then feeling sleep deprived. So excuse me. So this video, I want to tell y'all in as much detail as I can remember about the incident that happened yesterday, the medical incident. So, excuse me for yawning so much. So yesterday, well, let's see, Friday, um, I think I ate dinner at about 7 o'clock or 7:30, or probably earlier than that. I don't remember. Probably 5 o'clock. I don't remember. It was. I just remember it wasn't too late and it was dark. So, then after that, I had nothing to eat or drink at all until after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I went to the restaurant and I know I was feeling a little weird, the fact that I didn't have anything to eat or drink. So I figured I need to eat something and I need to drink something. And me calling myself trying to, you know, with the online perps narcissistically bullying, harassing, and lecturing me about food and eating and everything, and trying to lecture me and tell me you don't need to be eating 3 meals a day and you're gaining weight and you're fat and greedy and everything else, extra cruel and abusive. And then I think I told y'all about how I was sleep deprived because of being forced to stalk my own TikTok account because the perp kept on. It probably was that Mission Possible perp or the sex trafficker with the false name Darnell Williams. So in which I showed y'all that lady that it was at least it was a couple of people that defended and agreed with him and turned against me. So I showed y'all about that fake Kentucky Patriot yesterday, which that ruined my day. So and and you make reports about some of these perps, they don't care. Sometimes they'll be outraged and don't want to be exposed. So so then I felt like, ooh, I don't remember how I felt though. I don't remember if I felt weak, like I needed to. I mean, like I was on the verge of passing out. I mean, I don't think I felt that way. I'm not sure how I felt. I don't remember how I felt. I just know I didn't really feel that great because I had nothing to eat at all or drink. No, not even a sip of water or nothing. So I was sleep deprived because of itching all night, plus dealing with the online harassment and perping activities on TikTok. And, every time I blocked the perp, he would come back and harass even more. And that probably was him that said something harassing this morning, trying to ruin my day on purpose. Or it could have been a different perp. So I went to go to the restaurant and I ordered breakfast food, you know, and me trying to get something affordable. And I was extremely hungry. And for some odd reason, I was craving both chocolate and peanut butter. But I damn sure wasn't getting no Reese's. I mean, I wasn't gonna get any Reese's, you know. So I had some chocolate and pecan pancakes with orange juice, sausage, and I didn't even get to eat the eggs. So I was eating and I finished the pancakes, I finished the sausage, and after a couple of bites of the eggs, I started to feel weird. So, but also while I was eating my food, I started working on a short story in which the one that I just showed y'all in the previous video. And I wanted to write 3 short stories yesterday and probably 2 of them today, but I guess I didn't get to I didn't get to so far I only got that one. And so all of a sudden I just started to feel strange in an unexplainable way. And then I started to get a little bit quickly overheated kind of feeling. And then started to feel extremely lightheaded and like I was on the verge of blacking out. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I almost blacked out. Like if I was standing up, I probably would have fainted, passed out, you know. So I started to black out. And I like somebody, y'all, I need help. I need help. Help. Somebody please help me. And I don't remember if it was a white man and a woman, if there were a couple or if it was 2 white men. They walked straight by me and looked at me like I was crazy. They look messy, and I'm describing, the way these people are. And they probably were perps. So they they looked like they were in their mid-50s. And so they walked immediately past me, and I'm like, somebody, y'all, I need help. And so they looked at me like I was crazy, like, what the hell you telling me? Like, they didn't say it, but they just gave me this look like, what the hell you telling me for? It ain't my problem. So the people sitting right on the table I mean, at the table, like next to me, like across from me, they offered to help and wanted to call 911. And I'm like, oh, I ain't trying to go to the emergency room today. I'm not trying to go to the hospital today. And so, well, I may not have been the only black person there, but they had a couple of black people, not that many, but, you know, but almost everybody there was white people. So, and I'm sitting here wondering, wow, I guess they ain't got no shame in their doggone racism. But these people across from me, they were also white, but they offered to help me out, and I was wondering what was going on, you know. And so I'm glad they helped me out and called for the restaurant servers came and ran it, the employees came and ran to my rescue and offered to help me out. And first they thought that my blood sugar was low, then they thought it was high, then they thought, oh, it might have been anxiety. And this medical emergency probably was planned by perps with directed energy weapons, because they know that I'm supposed to. I mean, I don't have to tell anyone. I don't have to tell my doggone business. The perps know everything about me anyway. So, like in the past, like what happened in 2019, those temp service jobs in 2018 and stuff like that, I didn't tell anybody, hey, I'm about to get a job at such and such place. You know, the moment I fill out the application and get onboarding, then next thing you know, I go to the job and everything's already orchestrated and set in place. I don't have to tell anybody. And narcissistic control freak fake TI perps get mad at me and be like, you shouldn't have told nobody your business. And then me and them end up getting into a heated argument with that person for trying to yell at me and do victim blaming and say, you should have told all your business, or you should have told nobody that you're about to get a job, or you shouldn't have told nobody, show them where you work at. If an online perp is bragging about tracking you, you ain't gotta say shit. So I don't even know how they have the technology to do that all the way from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and stalk every damn thing you do when you got your own freaking husband you need to tend to. So anyway, so I'm glad that the employees gave me support and help and love and you know everything like that. And at first I was trying everything I could to avoid having to get the ambulance, and then after I started to feel weird, I started to feel like extreme pressure in my heart, and then it started to get painful, and it's like they felt like something pulling pulling and tagging at my heart and like pulling my heart down. And so, I was hoping I wouldn't have a heart attack, but you know, so then I started to have like extreme pressure to the point where it become painful pressure in my heart, and then I started to get pain in my head. After being lightheaded for like 2 or 3 minutes, I started to black out, you know, and I don't know if it was possible. Um, I don't know if I was overheated because I didn't feel myself getting overheated, you know, by because they have a, you know, well, I'm not gonna go in much detail, but but I wasn't, gonna let myself, you know, go to the emergency room. I tried everything I could to try to avoid it, but I didn't know. I was like really panicky and afraid, and like, well, I guess it's better safe than sorry. And I'm like, well, knowing how bad my diet has been, dealing with my homeless situation and not having enough money to eat healthier, and so it's like, well, I guess it's a health scare because something must be going on, because I know my eating hasn't been able to be healthier because of my homeless situation and poverty and everything, and can only eat what I can afford. And so I mean, but anyway, so eventually the ambulance came, and I'm glad they took me seriously and didn't. I'm glad they didn't abuse me or get an attitude and falsely accuse me of over exaggerating and faking for attention. I'm glad they did not do that. So I mean, I start to get just all of a sudden just instantly overheated, but they can hit you with direct energy weapons to do that to you. And I guess they were trying to hit me with weapons on purpose, wanting to punish me for eating, for one. I mean, for one thing, punish me for eating, and then also they wanted to I guess they were trying to create a medical emergency on purpose to set me up to try to make it like they were trying to stop me from being suitable to go to work on Monday, which is tomorrow. Because that happened 2021, 2 years ago. I had to go to the emergency room. I think it was New Year's Day. And I had um I had extreme heart pain. And I'm like, well, they must really be trying to hit me with direct energy weapons to prevent me from going to this job interview that I was supposed to have had with the same company as the phone company that I'm with. And I felt disappointed because they gave me the interview but didn't hire me. And I could have had a job and got out of my homeless situation with that job. But I guess they ended up refusing to hire me because I said that I couldn't tolerate, the loud blaring music. You know how when you go to certain phone companies and in their business they had blast super loud music? So he didn't hire me. I think that was the reason. And it made me almost wish I could but I still ended up with this phone company. It's 2 years later and I'm still with this company. I've been with this company since I think early 2019, before I came to Pensacola, because something bad happened to my other phone, when I was doing a temp service job at the convention center, and I was homeless, and it was before, and I had to get an emergency another phone, and I had to get a new number. So that's when I switched over to this phone company and been with them since 2019. So almost 3 years I've been with this company. Wait a minute. Oh, was that did that incident happen? Was it 2018 or 19? I don't remember if it was 2018 or 2000. I thought it was 2019, but it could have been 2018. That's I don't remember. But anyway, so back to, yeah, so I really think that they probably were hitting me with weapons to overheat my body and to attack my heart, attack my head, and to try to make me feel a certain way as a way to punish me for trying to pursue and accomplish something. And to try to, make me have to cancel my first day of work. To make me that sick and disabled to have to cancel that first day of work. That's what they were trying to do. So I'm glad they treated me with respect and treated me good. And, um, you know, and I wanted to cry tears of joy because they took my health seriously. And even though they weren't flying or nothing, in the ambulance, they put the sirens on. I think that's the first time I rode in the ambulance ever in my life. And they put the sirens on. Because dealing with foster care and the fake foster mom, and the abusive fake foster mom and the fake social workers, I wasn't allowed to get sick. Even before I became targeted, I would be like 10 and 11 years old, and they would do that to special ed, disabled foster kids that they don't like, that they will falsely accuse you of faking sickness for attention and lie and say that there's nothing wrong with you. Wow, those psychiatric medications making you sick as a dog. So, the moment they put me in an ambulance, and I was starting to get scared because they were talking about getting a defibrillator and everything. I started to get real scared, and so they put the right after they put me in the ambulance, they had 3 cars parked side by side, like 3 vehicles, like some of them SUVs, cars, trucks, I don't remember. And all 3 of them pulled, like immediately, like when they got the confirmation that the target, me, when they got the confirmation that I was in the ambulance, they pulled out of the parking lot, like right next to the ambulance. They each pulled out immediately, one after the other, one behind the other, all 3 of them. They might have been the ones hitting me with the fucking weapons. And so then riding on the way, it was a long ass fucking ride. It felt like a half hour long. But they were trying to drive in normal speed. They weren't flying or speeding or nothing, but they were driving normal speed. But at certain intervals, they put the sirens on while I was in the ambulance. And so they put the sirens on. And so at one point I showed y'all, I'm like, I'm like, I'll be damned. I know y'all not. Like, I'm sitting here in a medical emergency, and y'all still perping the shit out of me. So I fought with all my might, despite how bad I felt. I would have to get some doggone exposure. See, now all of a sudden they starting to try to vibrate my left hand. And I'm like, I'm going to try to expose something. So they had a white truck, the white pickup truck that I showed y'all in the community post, with one headlight. It was tailgating and following, like tailgating right up on us and following the ambulance. And then the moment I whipped out my phone, he hurried up and switched lanes, but I still caught his ass and got my evidence that even during a medical emergency, they will still gang stalk you and be on your ass real fucking heavy. And so a while after that, they had and I also when I was had my medical incident, I was feeling some confusion too, a little disorientation and confusion as well. And so I was after the white truck, then next thing you know, it was a brownish green Kia Soul. I'm like, they no like, and but they had normal headlights, but they were tailgating the fuck out of us, and tailgating us really bad. And then I don't know if that was automatic, or if if the paramedics, if they covertly manually, or if it was just a random coincidence that the moment I tried to grab my phone again, I was like, I couldn't move my arm to try to grab the phone again to try to capture the Kia Soul, but that was tailgating us really bad, because the blood pressure thingy, started to squeeze my arm, and for a long ass time. And then immediately after, and I'm like, come on, man, this seemed like an eternity. Like, and I was like, and the Kia Soul was behind, like, very close up on us. And I'm like, damn, they must be trying to sacrifice me. Somebody must be attempting to sacrifice me or have me killed or something. Why the hell would a doggone Kia Soul come right behind, And so then immediately after the blood pressure cuff had, loosened up, immediately before I can grab my phone, the Kia Soul, it went off into an exit. So I couldn't catch the motherfucker. So then, that I saw some more various one headlights, funny headlights, strange headlights and stuff. And then I got to the hospital, and they took me off the stretcher and then put me in a wheelchair. And I'm glad they didn't take too long to serve me. And you know, and I guess I did the registration. Ow. And then I had to sit down for a while. They called my name. And before anything, they had this big obese guy. I know I'm big and obese too, but he was a really big guy. And he, was one of the technicians, I guess. And he's like, oh, you got pressure on your chest? Oh, you got flu-like symptoms. I'm like, no, I don't. I know I don't have no doggone flu. So then afterwards, I think the first thing they did was the EKG. And afterwards they did x-rays, and then they did blood work, and also had to do the pee in a cup, and then I had to wait for a long time. And they had the Filipino lady, I'm pretty sure she was Filipino, and that was did the EKG, and she seemed like she had a little bit of an attitude. And but later on towards the end she started to get a little nice, but I had to wait in the waiting room for a long ass time. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, ain't no beds available, or they don't have beds here? I'm like, what we supposed to do? Just sit in the doggone waiting room I think at Jefferson Highway, I forgot what's the name, Oshner Hospital in Jefferson, Louisiana, where I used to live down the street from there. And they would always torture and abuse me. I didn't even know that that was an MK Ultra mind control center. That Oshner has something to do with MK Ultra Nazi experimentation. And I mean, I could tell y'all some doggone stories about hospital abuse, whether black or white, Hispanic, Asian, no matter in different cities and states. So it took for me to not go to the hospital for a long time. And then the first time I'll be taken seriously and medically treated accordingly. But if I end up having to go to the hospital kind of often, then I realized due to the gang stalking, they get very abusive and sadistic. So I hadn't gone to the hospital in a while, and that's probably why I was treated better. But it wasn't perfect because they try to. It seemed like as if they were trying to meet a quota on how many people that they can get to diagnose. You know, and I'm like, I know I don't have it, so I had to like stand my ground on all that. So they also wanted to swab my nose. I'm like, no, no, no. So I stood my ground on that. And so I'm glad they respected my wishes. It took a little while, but they kept trying to be pushy and trying to convince. And I'm like, no, So then, I mean, after a few hours, it was after 6:30 or 7 o'clock. I think it was after 7 o'clock yesterday evening. They finally gave me a bed. And I wasn't even in there for a long time at all. Sometimes you be in there for so many hours. But they said something about shift change at 7 o'clock. So after that, that's when they had the nurse practitioner. She was pretty nice, but I call it fake nice because I think I saw her throw up she was wearing like a blue scrubs. Well, a lot of the staff there were wearing blue medical scrubs. And so she was she was nice, but I think at one point for a small brief moment, I think she may have gotten a slight attitude or whatever. But overall, she was nice, but I'm gonna call it fake nice because it looked like she had subtle but noticeable devil horns that she flashed at me at one point. And I forgot what her name is. But she checked my ears and said that there's lots of fluid in both of my ears. And she said that could have caused what happened. And I don't believe I have a viral respiratory infection either. But that's what they were trying to say. But it's better than being diagnosed with something mental. Being falsely diagnosed with something mental. But which they acted like as if they were just guessing. They said that my heart, they did it twice, the heart enzyme thing. They said that the heart enzymes were normal and that all the EKG was normal. I'm surprised they didn't talk about, well, you got the best EKG we've seen all day. They said the EKG was normal, all the blood tests were normal, urine tests, everything normal. But I was concerned. Nobody told me anything about my blood pressure because I'm like, is my blood pressure low? I haven't even been taking the bentonite clay like that. I did a couple of times last week, because of eating all that Dollar General food and eating the chips out of the doggone snack machine because that's all I had the little money for. And that was what was convenient over there. So the guy the one of the nurses, his name was Wesley. Well, let me back up. When they did the blood test, took my blood work. The guy Josh, um, he was. Did I say? Oh yeah, I did. I got the X-rays too. The heart X-ray. They said it's fine. X-rays came out fine too. So the guy Josh, when I, he was nice, patient, and respectful. Him and the other lady, the other nurse, I don't remember her name, but Josh was respect. Joshua, he was respectful enough that he was patient, kind, and gentle, and with poking my right arm, to get the blood test. So, um, I mean, I really hate needles because of being traumatized from foster care as a child and always being stuck. Poke, 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 stick, stick, stick. Being in foster care. So I'm traumatized by anything medical, anything dental, anything optical. Yep, the eye doctor too. I was traumatized and scared about all that when I was a little kid. So, but later on, when taking the IV out of me, the nurse Wesley, I begged him to please be gentle. And he was sadistic and narcissistic enough that he didn't care and roughly ripped off the IV anyway. So towards the end, he was kind of one of the main problem. And, that really pissed me off. So he was a perp, an abusive narcissistic perp. And then I was trying to ask, with those stickers on, the stickers from your the EKG, the stickers from the EKG. I was trying to ask, is there an easier or simpler way to take them off? Because like when I try to take them off my legs, and it hurt yesterday because of my legs. I have hair on my legs. You know, so that hurt. So I was wondering if there was like a more painless way or a simpler way. And Wesley got an attitude like, just peel them off. Just pick up. Like he said it, like as if I asked a stupid, nonsensical question. He was rude, and I suspect that he was younger than me too. So he damn sure wasn't 35 years old. He looked like he could have been like 30. So, oh, this story didn't take as long as I thought, and I'm surprised I remembered so much. And when I was at the restaurant, before I had to get in the stretcher, I wanted to make sure that my meal was paid for, and I tried to give him my debit card and stuff. And I'm glad that one of the restaurant workers was kind and nice enough, and she loved me enough, and they stayed with me, and they stayed with me and took care of me. And I think they were blotting off. I remember they were blotting off my face, with the towel, and feeding me more orange juice and water. And then they said to stop, because at first they thought my blood sugar was low, then they thought it was high, then they weren't sure, then they thought it was anxiety, then they thought it was this. And so it's like, it was really crazy. But I'm glad she was sweet enough to see, they hit me above my ear on the right side of my head. They hit me with the weapons. So, the restaurant, one of the restaurant workers was sweet enough that she paid for my meal and told me don't worry about it. So, Come on, man. I hear a loud truck out there. Ugh. So, well, I'm glad that I had the smarts to ask for a way to get a hotel voucher. I'm sorry, not a hotel voucher. I meant to say a transportation cab voucher to get back to the hotel. So that ride would have been $30, but I'm glad the hospital paid for it. That they gave me that voucher. And so I didn't have to pay to go home, well, back to the hotel. And so then the they had the security guard who looked like the type of person who would have been a police officer, not security guard. And he was abusive and mean and had this attitude like as if I deserved to be punished, and like had his face twisted up mad and everything, because I felt like, I got the cab and I didn't want to be standing outside because of then dealing with more perp activity, and I didn't want to reveal the hospital where I was at because of the online perps, you know. So, um, so I, try to ask if I can stay inside, and I'm glad that the cab didn't take too long. And so then he called me over and let me know the cab driver was there. The cab driver was dressed like like it was New Year's Eve. He was dressed so professionally and you know like he really meant business. I get in his car. I'm surprised and impressed of how clean it was. Like he's doing his thing, you know. But me and him had, like, I guess, a nice conversation, even though with him wearing a what on his face. Um, with him wearing that on his face, um, some certain words or certain things he was telling me I couldn't understand, but I felt bad to pretend like I understood what he said. So, he was nice, and me and him had a conversation about what happened. Of course, I couldn't tell him the gang stalking aspect of what happened, but I told him what happened, and and also the nurse practitioner, she gave me some kind of medication prescription, like amoxicillin for the tooth abscess. But when I went last summer, not this past summer, but 2021, when I was working at Seville Quarter, people devoured and attacked me for taking the antibiotics. You know, so um, I didn't know if the abscess had anything to do with the incident, but apparently not. But I just gotta, brush my teeth with the bentonite clay, and it will go down. It'll keep everything down. But when I be on the streets, I don't have that convenience to brush my teeth, really. But I try to keep the clay on hand, and it seems like as if the clay is more powerful than the activated charcoal, for some odd reason with the abscess, trying to keep down the infection and everything. So I'm gonna just continue the clay, and I'm not gonna do the amoxicillin. And so I have to pee really bad just all of a sudden. But I wanted to make sure I told everything. And so they had some illegal hotel neighbors that were doing a noise campaign, blasting super loud music right near my near my hotel room. I'm like, hell freaking no. I just got out the hospital. I don't have freaking time for no damn noise campaign and noise harassment. Like, how much more y'all gonna do? Like, I needed my peace and quiet. So, so shortly after I exposed their asses, then they scattered like roaches and went back inside. You know, so I have to pee so bad. Hold on, just right quick. I'm back. So the pressure on my heart, it kind of stopped. Like when I was at the hospital waiting in the waiting room, it kind of stopped sometime after about 5:30. I started to feel back normal again. And then afterwards, I felt more pressure on my heart tugging, you know. And then after that, it got to a point where I started to get bored. I started to get very bored. And then I continued to work on a short story and was ready to go. But I was just, waiting on results. And I figure, it's them bastards. So, um, so the bentonite clay had got rid of, I don't know if it was tonsil stones or strep throat that I had about a month ago, or that I thought I had. I didn't get a diagnosis, but I don't know if it was tonsil stones or strep throat that I had, and the bentonite clay got rid of it within like 2 or 3 days. So, it's hard, but I'm, trying what I could, so, I didn't have, the day is not over, and I didn't have a disaster day, but the perps try to ruin it. It's 5:09 p.m. right now. So I don't want to go to bed feeling hungry. So it was after 12 o'clock, or probably after 12:30. I went to go and eat. I had no breakfast, but I ate lunch, and the server was fake nice and throwing up the 666 hand sign at me. No, I figure I remember you before. I figure I don't like you. I figure I didn't like you. I figure you seem familiar. but but so it was a nice, beautiful, warm day today. Warm enough that I wish I would have got to go swimming or go to the beach or something. It was really nice and warm today that I felt kind of hot walking around with sweatpants and a hoodie. So I would hate to go to bed hungry tonight. So I have enough for one more meal. I have enough for one more meal after tonight. And then I'm going to be broke and poor with nothing except just bus fare and maybe enough for a snack. So I just have enough for one more meal tonight. And I would hate to go to bed feeling uncomfortable and hungry and tortured. So, um, that's all I had to say that I can recall or remember about the medical emergency that happened yesterday. I think that was the perps trying to do something, and also trying to scare me. And they try to prevent the target from having a success, bettering themselves, or and then people try to say you got to be your own success. Nobody else is gonna do it for you. Well, those same somebody else, everybody else, they know how to pull your success away from you. Abusive, narcissistic gang stalking, and forced infantilization. It's like they thought I was gonna stay a quote unquote mentally retarded child in a mental health system all my damn life. And I'm glad I fought against it. So people won't allow me the right to have a job or work, or I mean a high paying enough job and work. And that alone could that could get me my own place and a car and everything. I'm going to remind y'all that I have a whole bachelor's degree, and it being so blacklisted that it's difficult to get a dishwashing or janitorial job. And when I do, it's to set up for the gang stalking, workplace mobbing, to put me right back at square one. So they had that job. Another car related job that the lady was going to hire me, and then next you know she went AWOL on. I think she told me I was hired and everything, and I forgot the name of the company, and she went AWOL on me, and I never heard shit from her. They do that too, lie to you and tell you that you're hired, and then like after the interview they'll lie to you and say that you're hired and that they're gonna give you the onboarding and everything, and then next they go AWOL on you, and you don't hear anything. So now they're hitting me on the left side, just below my left breast, above the top of my stomach. They're trying to hit me there with the weapons. Well, I feel pain and pulsating there. So I was able to get all those stickers off of me yesterday, and it hurt to get them off my legs. So I probably should have jumped in the shower with the stickers on, and it probably would have easily came off. But I didn't want them slipping down the sink, or I mean, I'm sorry, not the sink. I meant to say the tub drain. I didn't even think to do that, but I had to use the bathroom, and then I took a shower, and they were squeezing my organs when I took a shower last night. Well, I actually took a bath. I took a bath last night, not a shower, because of me being like exhausted and tired and not feeling well. I actually took a bath last night. Well, it was right after the midnight, and then I went and took a shower. Then I went to sleep, and I told y'all this morning about whatever else. So there's no answer for anything right now. I'm feeling a little bit better after talking, but before I started the video, I was extremely tired, sleepy, and but now I'm feeling a little bit less tired, and like I kind of really can't even function. But I'm gonna push myself to work on and write 2 more short stories before bed. And 2 more short stories before bed, and then I gotta get up early in the morning. And far as I know, I was trying to get, if anybody could donate and help me, if multiple people could donate and help me out with $150 before midnight, and if I can get help with the hotel room, transportation, and food, and I'm hoping to not have to pay a deposit if I go to another hotel. But the deposit would be more than, if I would have come back. It would cost more than if I would have came back here and got a transportation over here, you know. So, but here I don't have to pay a deposit. So, trying to ask for help with one more night, and also um enough money for food and transportation. And as I said, I don't know what time I'll be getting off, but if I had to work 8 hours, then I definitely would need a cab. I mean, a cab or Uber or something. So, it would be very scary and a struggle, if I just go to the if I gotta take like a 3 hour bus ride all the way. I'm estimating that might be 3 hours bus ride to get to the job, and then I gotta go, you know, change clothes and stuff like that. And and then if all I mean everything else is closed, and I just gotta go to work on an empty stomach and work for so many hours on an empty stomach and be sleep deprived at that, you know. And then Tuesday everything will be fine, back normal again, Now I'm supposed to get paid. So I'm praying for more help. That's why I say I'm trying to work, with the short stories, trying to, hopefully earn a way to get some help, you know, with, trying to write the short stories and stuff. So, that's all I have on my mind for the moment. And I'm going to write some more short stories. And I hope they come out good, because I'm still sleep deprived and tired and not really mentally alert, can't even think properly. And so, if any more harassment and perp activity go on, which I hope they don't, now they're hitting me on my right shoulder with the weapons. So I hate to have to check out tomorrow and then be back on the streets suffering, and then we'll have to probably go back downtown and it be raining and I have no shelter overhead. So I'm kind of scared. I would hate to be up all night worried about that. So thanks for listening to me, and I'm going to try to write a couple more short stories and then come show y'all.